All right, guys, we just got here on site. We're out here in Grand Prairie, Texas. This lovely home that we have back here. It's actually lawn of the month. How about that? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to come in here. We have a full theater install. Let me go ahead and show you guys real quick. I'm trying to be very careful with not showing the customer's address. So let me pop this down real quick. Show you guys some of the gear we got working. So we've already staged some of the equipment itself. Let me pop this back up. So we've already staged some of the equipment itself. We have it over in the foyer per se, and we have a strong FS 21RU rack. We have some AudioQuest wiring in the back. We have a massive 160-inch micro perf screen from Stewart Screens here. That thing is incredible. We also have a 3U shelf. These are extras. We don't need that. We have a Apple TV taking care of the whole thing. We have some of my camera equipment in there as well. Let me pop this out, and then I will show you some of this. Again, trying to shield their address. Got some speaker wire. You guys got all their equipment. This is going to be a full-on Focal system. So let me show you guys some of this real quick. We're doing Focal 1000s for the front stage. We're doing Focal 300s for the rest of the system. Niagara and AudioQuest for the cabling. Epson for the projection system. And then we have SVS for the subs. So I'm going to pop in here. We're going to go ahead and start doing the install. We're going to get into it right after the intro. All right, guys, walking up the stairs. Let me show you guys this real quick. Getting up here to the room. Let's go ahead and show you guys this room real quick. So I've been working with this customer for quite some time. We've actually been waiting the longest for the screen to get prepared. So let's see if we can get some light in here. That's working right there. Okay, cool. So this is a pretty large room. I think it's a 15 by 22. And then these are 9-foot ceilings up here in the front. So it kind of has a coffered ceiling. The customer really wanted to do a floor to ceiling type of approach. I kind of explained to him that it'd probably be easier not to do the construction out front and then basically just to use the real estate that he has. So we're going to be doing a full-on 7.2.4 system in here. And then a little bit later, he wants to do some custom LEDs right back here, theater seating as well. He's already pre-wired for it right now. This is a newer construction home. This was made right before the beginning of the pandemic. So we're about to get rocking and rolling. So the guys are staging the gear right now. Once we start getting into the install, I'll start doing some updates. But if you guys want any work like this done, make sure to contact us. GridHiFi.com, GridHomeTheater.com. Links in the description. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so this is the strong fine I'm getting my stuff mixed up. This is the strong FS system. This is the rack. It comes fully assembled. Basically, what's really cool about it is that it comes with fans, comes with shelves, and it's fully assembled, so you don't have to pay to have the installer do more labor to get it, it assembled. So let's go ahead and pop this thing out of the shell real quick, and then we'll use the top of this as a trash can because we're going to start making all this cardboard fly in just a second. So this is the rack. Basically, you can get these in any size from 15, 21, 27, 35, and 42. 42 are for you big dogs that have, preamp and processor to take care of. This is kind of a smaller system in which we're letting the AVR do most of the heavy lifting. So this is the back side. This is the side, and this is the front side. So it comes with a, nice frosted glass here in the front, so it really help clean up your theater and minimize those reflections with those lights that are going to be on your processor. Again, it has fans installed right on top, so you don't have to worry about any excess heat, and you can also do some ventilation in there, which is really cool. And then it's locked, so you can actually lock it so that your kids don't come in here and mess around with all your stuff. So that's really cool. Let's see if I can show you that. Pumping up the ISO, cool right there. So that's kind of it. We are in the room right now. Let me show you this. Looks like the guys are already getting set up. They already have some pre-existing pre-wire in here from before, so we're not going to be using this per se because these are for the LCR in the ceiling. And if you guys see this, this is very typical, especially in Texas too. The old school way of doing things is to have pre-wired in your ceilings because that's how they did surround sound in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Whenever they added Atmos, you don't want anything in the ceiling that's going to be a surround channel or a front channel. You basically only want Atmos channels up there if you're going to be doing it like that. So this is pretty typical. If we're looking at this from just a pure wiring standpoint, this is a 5.1 wired into the ceiling, but we're not going to be using these per se for any of the LCR channels. We will reutilize those ones in the back for the rear Atmos. And the guys are already rocking and rolling, getting everything set up and prepped. Let me go ahead and show you guys some of this stuff out here. So this is, I don't want to show you guys the customer. So this is the equipment that we have so far. Let me just go through all this stuff systematically. Over here, we have the big dog. This is the 160-inch Stewart screens. This is a wall screen deluxe micro perf screen, and I believe this is in the Firehawk, so it gives you some ambient light rejection. Great screen, especially for the ambient light rejecting properties. So it allows you to, if you guys don't know, typically your screen is a mirror. So if you're not paying attention and you have your lights on like there are right now in the room, if you guys can see that, or if you guys have this door open, you don't want to ruin your experience by having some lights on, because it'll like flash back to grade school. It'll wash out the image completely. What this does, since it's ambient light rejection, is you can have some lights on and it's not going to degrade the image that much, you know, for you to keep enjoying the movie. So we have that big dog right here, the Focal 1000s. Love these things. This was a great choice. I'm glad that the customer decided to beef up his front stage. So we're doing the Focal 1000s up front. For the LCRs, we have the AudioQuest Niagara 1200, as well as their low Z power cable. So we'll be implementing that in the rack. This one necessarily doesn't have rack shelves itself, or rack feet, or rack ears. You can, on the other hand, use this long ways in a strong FS rack, because it will fit. So it will be able to clean up your power and fit in the unit itself. Over here we have a lot more PowerQuest cables, some RCAs, HDMIs, and what else do we get for him? I think that's it. So that's going to help out with his system. And we have the Epson. This is the Epson PU7 or 1007B. This is the 7,000 watt laser lumen projector, and this thing kills. It actually comes with a separate lens itself. Let's see if, I don't think we have the lens up here right now. It comes with a separate lens itself, but this thing is plenty powerful. So if you guys are trying to do anything over, I would say the sweet spot for an LS 12,000 is up to 135. If you guys absolutely need to go bigger than that, you guys need to get one of these laser projectors from Epson, or you know, you gotta spend the big dogs in the 20 plus thousand bucks to get the JVC or Sony variants. So we have SVS down here for the subwoofers. We're using the micros, and if I was telling this to the customer too, if you, since both of these are active drivers on the right and left, if you add up the surface area on here, this small form factor, which is no bigger than like a medicine ball, like a cube, if you add up the surface area, it's actually the size of a 16-inch driver, which is just incredible, especially coming out of something this small. You know, the wife likes it because she's not tripping over it, and she's not complaining that you have to worry about your subwoofers. So you guys can put a lot more of these things into your space without having to worry about the blowback. We have the Focal 300 series. These are our IC6s. So we have 4 of those. We have the IW6s. We're using those as in-walls. And the Cinema, this is the AVR 3800. Actually, we have the Cinema 50 that we're using for this job. So this one's going back with me. We shouldn't put that one in the truck. But yeah, that's basically the equipment that we got going on right now. The guys are in here getting everything prepped. We're going to be going in here to put the speaker locations on the walls. So they're just doing their due diligence, measuring everything out right now. But I will pop back in here in just a minute. We have the speakers taped out with tape already. So as you guys can see over here, we have those up over here on the sides. So this is a little bit higher because if I made it lower to ear level, the back row would not benefit from this surround speaker. So we have another set going back there. It's a little bit higher. It's not going to be too much higher. And then we have the mount coming right now. So we'll be putting the laser projector right up there, coming up shortly. And then I will do another update in just a second. All right, guys, walking back into the room. This is going to be the wrap up for the entire video series. So I was having audio problems before, so I figured I'd just go ahead and refilm this part for you guys. But what we have in here is a massive, as the elephant in the room, we have a massive 160-inch Stewart wall screen deluxe. This is the Firehawk G5. So this actually is an ambient light rejecting screen. It's acoustically transparent as well. So the reason for that being is because we knew we wanted to do a massive screen in here. The customer absolutely needed to do a massive screen in here. And, you know, we had some exchange of words and he kind of figured that he wasn't backing down on it. So I needed to do some workarounds. So what we needed to do was put the speakers behind there, and I will show you guys those in just a second. But they are the Focal 1000s on the back side of the screen. And again, the dimensions of this room are roughly a 15-ish wide by 22 deep. And these are 11-foot ceilings. So those are the dimensions of the room. Massive floor-to-ceiling type of screen right here. There's a little bump out for the roof right up there. But that's kind of what we're dealing with here. We have Focal all around the room. We have the 1000s up front behind the screen. And then we have the 300s right here in walls. Love these things. These give you a lot of detail and dynamics for your surround channels. So we decided to do those for surrounds, and then up top we have the end ceilings. Those are the 300s up there. We have 4 of those. So we're dealing with a 7.2.4 configuration in here. And we talked about up front, the .2 are going to be the SVS subs. So we have the SB3000 micro subs. So if you guys want to grab those, you guys know who to call. We also have the Wattbox surge protectors, so single gang surge protection on everything. This is critical. The day we actually did this install, there was several hailstorms out here in Dallas. And did you have your power go out? No. No, okay, so his power didn't go out, but it went out in Houston. We're actually out here in Dallas right now. But that is critical. So I never skimp on surge protection. So you guys will notice I put them on subs and also put them on the projectors. So there is zero reason for you guys to call us up. You spend all your money and for some reason you try to turn it on, it doesn't work. That's not going to happen with us. So over here in the rack, we have the Strong FS rack. This is the 21 RU rack. It's really, really cool. Comes fully assembled with fans and shelves. So I really, really like these. These are my go-tos for racks, you know, because they're just easy to deploy out in the field and they just work. So really high quality. We use this one. It comes with shelves in there, but the customer had to purchase a separate shelf to fit the power amp because it only comes with a minimal supply of shelves themselves, but good enough to get you guys operational. Cinema 50 for the Marant's doing the heavy lifting up top. This one is 9 channels powered right out of the box. Down the road, the customer decided, hey, maybe I wanted to add an extra 2 pair of speakers in the back. So this one is 11 channels capable, but 9 channels internal powered. So we had to add a power amp down below. So we have the Marant's MM8077 7-channel power amp right here. So that's going to power the rest of the base layer, freeing up those extra channels to use internally with the unit itself. They have a massive CD collection, so they're using the CD player right here, and they were just watching Avatar. And then we talked about some upgrades down the road, doing maybe a Kaleidoscape as well as a Mad VR to finish out this entire system. And then down below, we have AudioQuest for power conditioning. This is the Niagara 1200. I really enjoy this thing. There's an audible and visual difference in actually adding this thing to your system. So everything in this system is wired with AudioQuest HDMIs, AudioQuest interconnects, AudioQuest subwoofer cables, and the entire system just works very, very well. Root beer is used for the HDMI for the projector. Speaking of the projector, this is the Epson 1007B. The customer originally wanted to do an Epson LS1200. I was telling him that I would think that that would be a bad choice based off of the screen size that he wanted to do. So we basically came to a happy compromise in going with this big bad unit, let me show you this right up here. This is the 1007B, 7,000 lumens laser power. This thing is never going to give you any problems. The only thing that you have to do is make sure that you guys are getting the proper lens with this one. We measured this thing out 1,000,000 times to make sure that this lens and screen relationship are going to work perfectly. But I think that's all we got for you right now. Let's do some quick demos.
Let's go meet them. Look, it's my spirit sister.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up today's demo. So again, this was a really, really cool project. If you guys want any of this stuff done, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are the Grid HiFi and Home Theater. You guys can check us out, gridhifi.com. You guys can also go to gridhometheater.com. We are a 5-star rated company. We're happy to serve you anywhere throughout Texas, and beyond. Give us a call, shoot us an email. We'd be happy to help you out. That's all I got for you guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.